Hello, and good morning. Alright, so now we're back on this run, since the Steve run has gone and already reached Chapter 3. Nothing's really changed here, other than a few people hit their level thresholds for some upgrades, so they got them. Like this guy here with his halberd. Now we're gonna have a fight over here in the wilderness. Basically just a wizardly guy, if I recall correctly. So we're gonna want some archers. I probably want... I think we'll take the healers out of this one. Because essentially all it's going to consist of is getting these two archers off to the front there. So here's what we're going to do. These guys are going to go off and hold that side. Those archers are going to do something like this, and then these four are going to be trying to clear away four said archers. Sounds like a good enough plan. This is probably going to be a terrible plan, but we'll see. We'll see. So this is just like a generico, hi, Galgastan's a great kind of guy. Also, I love how as soon as they end up losing their little icon for their affiliation changes to a flag, or a really tattered flag, like right here. Basically, under normal circumstances, it's two swords, that little triangle-shaped thing going on. But in this case, it's something very different. All tattered and destroyed because they got slightly wrecked. So, a fun thing I've been working on lately, for the sake of this last weekend, because essentially, you know, the wife and I were sitting watching the Olympics and everything. Like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and try to remake the Tactics Ogre scenario in Rise of Nations. So I did that, and it actually worked out surprisingly well, and I ultimately ended up just making two different versions of it for the different routes. Because here's kind of... But you know what, actually I should have brought Griffins for this. I don't know why I even bothered with frontliners. But okay. So it went a little bit like this. I went to... there we are. That looks good. Thankfully they can go in the water. So I set up the whole island thing, and like I said, went with two different routes for representing different scenarios. So in one of them, what I was calling the easy mode version, it was basically all of the Wallister side of things end up getting united, and all of them are essentially just fighting as, well, whatever the player decides to play as. So in that case, they were set up as the Dutch, which it seems weird in context, but okay. The bonuses in Rise of Nations are kind of unusual by RTS standards. So personally, the Dutch are just my hands-down favorite, because they're functionally just like an interest rate on anything you've collected. So, since their land is very limited, and they don't really have a whole lot of expansion options or anything like that... dang it, no slow proc. But yeah, so they don't have a whole lot of expansion options. They start off with Goliath, the castle, and Rhyme. Just because I tried this starting off Rhyme as kind of a contested area, but then it just became unwinnable because it was just too many attacks coming in from all sides at once. But yeah, the scenario plays out relatively similar, in which Rhyme is already in your control pretty much. You get to... ooh, I might be able just to halberd this guy in the face. There we go. Ooh, I like that doom sound. Pretty awesome. But yeah, so you get to... what are we doing here? Yeah, see if that works. So yeah, normally if you end up fighting over Rhyme at the very beginning, then you have no chance to go towards Quadriga and that whole general region. Because that's the way it's supposed to go. Yeah. Essentially, you get your people over there, you go and you try to make your way towards Quadriga, and then you can't, in most cases, even get to Balmamusa because it's way too contested and way too close to Kretenai. So that's the only part so far that's been like, how exactly did they end up losing that city, because geographically that's a very easily defended place. I don't know, I might be missing something there. But yeah, with that scenario, in in early versions, it kept resulting in just an endless stalemate, because you couldn't get... Ooh, let's do that. But yeah, you couldn't really get to Balmamusa, you couldn't hold Rhyme for too long, it would eventually end up falling. And, yeah, it just wound up being Almorica holding off pretty much forever until the other groups ended up getting involved. Now, I should point out that in this thing, I have all of the different groups, like, set up on different islands doing different stuff, so, like, Nibith is his own group, and, the Tigers are their own group, and, the Philaha peoples are their own group. But in the hard mode version, essentially all the Nibith stuff and all of the... Oh wow, that has no range. Basically, Nibith and Galgastan just end up their own thing. So they just wind up united and way the hell stronger because of it. Whereas the Wallister side of things, essentially the main resistance group, so the Duke and all that, are off doing their own thing the whole time. Whereas you're basically just stuck with Goliath and your initial starting people, and the idea is to try to figure out a way to win that scenario. Because you can essentially go and back up the Duke and all that, and he'll probably stay your ally for a while, but I opened up the diplomacy thing, so there's a good chance that they'll eventually just say, screw it. You're stuck wherever you're at, and everyone's getting screwed over now. Because you're essentially just a tiny one little city thing, and the only way that you're actually managing to plop a city anywhere is if you take one in the middle of a fight. So, anyway, I'll make a thing on that later. It's just a fun little project. Just because I wanted to know how reasonable the whole war scenario was. There we go. Thank you, Siege Bows, for being amazing. By the way, Siege Bows are probably getting a nerf pretty well soon, so expect that to happen. Probably in the next patch, because they're kind of like an anti-tank stick. Alright. I feel like they need next to no penetration, but still decent power. Alright, let's strip you naked. Time to get all kinky at Brigantes. There we go. It's snowing, that's why we're coming up and just showing up naked. Yep. Who possibly would have figured this out on their first try, by the way? Like, even though they tell you, if I go in there unarmed, be honest, you didn't try. And then they have cutscene, they're like, check out our purpleness. I'm gonna think of it, I should probably redo the colors for the mod. Because Philaha likes to wear purple. And I made them light blue. Like, the Dark Knights were purple, the Bakram were blue, and then these guys were light blue. Well, this guy's way too easy to turn on everyone. Like, what honestly is his plan here? He thinks this one guy is gonna come in and take over their castle? Then he's just gonna have to go fight his own guys? Also, man, this guy's full of crap. You can't even have a sword. You lying bastard. I kind of wonder if the whole reason that they always end up using that animation is that's the only kind of canned animation that they have. Now, when it comes to Berserkers. Probably should have just had him be a soldier or something if they need the sword animation. Also, yeah, Corpse Veil. That's... Then get to know when you have a place called that. They literally just have a giant disease hole that they chuck people into. So yeah, they basically gave him friggin' truth serum or whatever. Except in this case it was something ludicrously poisonous. They just turned him all delirious, so they don't even know if what he said is true. It was just... whatever. No Geneva Conventions back then, I suppose. And of course, it's not Coda yet, so ease isn't available. And if you don't get the bad ending, this is the only time you get to hear Reminiscence. Such a good theme! Seriously, hands down my favorite theme in the entire game. One of the few times you get to see this place that it isn't infested with stuff. And yeah, between the two of them, I still think Vernata looks so much more like Cashua does. Even though, you know, Manflor is supposed to. Like, look at that expression. Like the resting I'ma shank you in the neck face. So, she decides that she's gonna make her slave. Then she decides to rub her belly a little bit and is like, "No, you got Bevins," and then she just kicks her out. Because she can't... Well, to be fair, okay. At those times, I mean, if there was another kid, more than likely he probably would have just taken her as the actual queen, and friggin' resting Shankface would have gotten kicked out. And I guess friggin' Branton here loves to stand in the rain for no reason. Like, this is just my way of taking a shower. We haven't invented plumbing yet. They just had to stick clothes on him for the PG version. He's just like standing there like, I'm just scrubbing down in the rain. Like unfortunate soap and God knows what dripping on some poor bastard below. So yeah, he tries to handle the situation. And then Prancet decides to be an idiot. Like, here, you know... take care of these kids, fine, you know, that's... It's nice of him to basically say, look, here's a replacement kid, more or less. And he's like, here, just take this shiny jewelry, you know, get a crap ton of money, and just... everything's all good. Literally all he had to do was take that red one, give it to the new resting Shankface, and, you know, just never give Denim one. Sell that, become all rich and stuff. You know, maybe not get yourself all probably killed off in the long run. So, I guess it could be argued that if he tried to sell it, he might have gotten, you know, killed in the process or something. Which, Branton's kind of an a-hole also. It's like, he's giving him these jewelry pieces instead of saying, hey, you know, here's just some money. And that's when he tells him about the whole legacy thing. Like, no, they hid away this plot device. And they need the whole bloody king dealing. It's like the only part of the story that completely falls flat. I guess it makes sense in context because they have to have some mystical BS, but still. So he basically says, go find the Pope. Become a stone. Well, he can't really look with clear eyes if he's being stoned, you know? So he keeps telling him to rest, despite the fact that, you know, he's super dying. And he suddenly reverts to being like 6 years old in this picture for some reason. By the way, that isn't something laying on the bed, that's actually just a weird visual glitch. And now we get to the point where he gets all emotional and tries to choke out Olivia, and I guess she's just sort of into that, because she joins immediately after. She's like, screw this castle, screw everything else, you know what, we're in now. Who are you? You are a protagonist. And what's funny is I believe his nationality actually does change to Bakram now. Oh, another thing I find a little bit funny, okay? Of the castles, this is the only one that's guaranteed to be in snow all the time. Olivia's the only one, aside... Okay, Sherry and Olivia are the only ones that are shown to explicitly not wear pants. I just want to point that out. She's the one that chooses to live in the middle of the snow, they don't exactly have any consistent heating aside from those torches over there. So they're gonna have a hard time keeping this place super warm. But, she chooses not to wear pants. However, like, Saria over... Actually, come to think of it. No. Come to think of it, what is Saria's deal? I don't remember if she has pants. I don't regularly check if they have pants, I just always find it hilarious that friggin' Olivia doesn't. And that's when they find out that she got smacked in the face and has a scar and he remembers. And they're all childhood friends now. And she low-key had a crush on him, so... You know, they're kind of a couple. Sort of assumed to be a couple, more or less. Although it seems like the devs kind of decided that he and his sister are one also. Which is historically something that makes more sense. Also, I never realized Sistina was actually in this scene. Like, hey, my sister that figured out pants technology. Alright, so yeah, the Pope was all sad-like and decided, screw it, I'm gonna bail. So he went off to go live wherever. He went off to Pope Town. What's funny is I think Olivia is actually the one that remembers where he might be. And then Denham's just talking to her instead if Sistina doesn't make it this far. Oh. Okay, there was something that was posted on the Discord a few days ago. How she mentions that it's known by a different name now. Yeah, that's good. It's good that they changed the name, because the original name was just, oh my god. Just look up... he posted a picture on the Discord a few days ago, but... Let's just say... somebody in the translation department probably got quietly fired that day. So yeah, Sherry went and joined the Bakram. And it's weird because they just said, okay, you're important, we're gonna go ahead and promote you. Go ahead and be the right hand right off the bat, despite being super shady and just leaving the other side here. Alright, so she's a monk. I might leave her as a monk. Yeah, stat-wise, she's the smart one, Sistina's the fast one. Sherry, I believe, is also a smart one, and Saria's the fighty one. I just want to make her a witch. Kinda. I like having her as a caster. And she starts off with upgraded cudgels. I don't know. I'll decide. I'm gonna keep her as a monk for now, though. And yeah, equipment-wise, there was, there's 2 store updates, actually, I believe. Or, no, just 1. So, 1 store update since last time. Ooh, this is a pile driver now. Do I have anyone that uses these? Maybe? Not sure. Oh well. Anyways, very story-heavy part that last time. Let me give this guy his stuff back before I forget, because I will forget. Be all armored up now, it's nice. But anyway, see you next time then. And, yeah, I don't know what else to say here. Yeah, see you next time.